Welcome everyone to this special edition episode of the Sol of The Unexplained. My name's John Stratton. I'm going to be your host today. We got everybody here, don't you worry. But I'm just going to roll into this because among us are some brilliant minds. Joining us today, as always, is the guy that puts the in Jimm. That's Kjelgaard, of course. Jimm, how you doing today?
Hey there, Johnny. Good to see you. And man, I am just excited as all get out to have this conversation with some real life rock stars.
Awesome. And of course, Jimm's number two, our brother from another mother, Roger. Raj, how you doing today, buddy?
Amazing. I just can't believe that we're sitting here going to talk to Hitchhiker the Band. I mean, if I wouldn't have this on my bingo card for the end of this year. So this is amazing, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm sure all of you, our listeners, are looking forward to it as well. It will be a badass episode. So happy to be here.
I think bingo cards is going to be something we need to make for the audience. But of course, nothing, and I mean nothing, would be the same without the man who hides out in the hills of Colorado, cheering for an alleged team of football players, John Neiberger, our favorite Denver Broncos fan. How are you doing today, John?
I'm doing fantastic. Looking forward to this. Although I feel like I didn't prep correctly. I brought water instead of whiskey. So, my mistake. If you see me leave during the podcast, it's to get some whiskey. But other than that, I'm doing fantastic and looking forward to this.
Awesome. And as we've hinted, today we are joined by excellence. We have the greatest band to ever grace the stage of Phenomicon, perhaps one day the globe. Hitchhiker. It's my honor to introduce the great members of this band, our friends. So first off, we got to welcome our front man here for the band, Dr. Travis Taylor. Travis is known for his contributions as being a world-renowned physicist and rocket scientist. Around the world, his work includes work with National Geographics and their best show, in my opinion, Rocket City Rednecks, as well as many appearances throughout History Channel, most notably our Great Ancient Aliens, and of course, The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch. Dr. Taylor served many roles, including as a fantastic guitarist and singer, as well as lead scientist for the UAP task force, with our lead being our next guest, my father. I promise I'm going to try to use his name throughout the episode here. Jay Stratton. Jay Stratton's combined 30 years of experience serving our nation in the military as well as civil service. He's most known for developing the Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon, or UAP task force for the federal government, as well as being an advocate for disclosure, which, starting on November 21st of this month here, we can see in the new documentary, Age of Disclosure, affectionately known as Jay Motherfucking Stratton.
Woo!
Amazing guitarist and best father I could ask for. And of course, it wouldn't be a Hitchhiker podcast without our Guinness-loving brothers, Micah and Caleb Hanks. Micah is the founder and editor of The Debrief, host of the Micah Hanks program, plays guitar like Johnny defeating the devil, and is a self-described philosophic junkie, which is something I hope at some point we get into. And of course, the legendary Dino Beaver himself, Caleb Hanks from Banjo Extravaganza, Nitro Bluegrass, hosting one of the best paranormal podcasts to grace the internet, Ghosts in the Mountains. Caleb's probably plays every instrument you could imagine and stay on stage and will fit in just perfectly. We're honored to have men among us from the Hitchhiker Band. We're thankful to have all you guys here today to discuss your love of music. Let's start asking some questions, but first, let's turn it over to Travis. Dr. Taylor, how are you doing today, my friend?
Hey Johnny, man, it's good to hear from you guys. Just happy to be here. I'm just excited to hear what the two Dons are going to have to talk about tonight, man. You know, I got to brag to Micah a little bit because I just went and saw Billy Strings with my daughter 2 weekends ago, and dude, I never seen a rock show at a bluegrass festival before. That was crazy.
You should have come and seen Caleb and I play bluegrass at some point.
Well, I was just thinking about that, man. We need to, break down on some Doc Watson or something.
Yeah.
Man of constant sorrow. Come
Never
on.
heard it. Dad, Jay, how you doing today, my friend? I'm just going to treat you like you're not even my dad today. Let's go with that.
It's all good. Enjoying the weather here in North Alabama. It was a beautiful day today, about 70 degrees. Got to sit outside for a while, but nothing too exciting. Getting ready to hit the road, as you know. Um, Top secret mission to go support the Age of Disclosure and make a difference in the world.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Caleb, how you doing today, buddy?
Wyatt, I am rolling. I'm doing very good. I just got off the back of dipping my toes back into the realm of paranormal investigation. I was at the legendary location where they filmed Dirty Dancing last night, the Lake Lure Inn, and I stayed a few doors down from the Patrick Swayze suite, and everybody there was super, super nice. I was telling the guys before the podcast started, I met a real life pirate. Dude was dressed in the most authentic pirate garb ever, and I drank a Guinness with him. So typical night in my world, really.
Tell us more about the
Excellent.
clay.
Oh yeah. Look, I woke up, I was having this crazy dream. I was making a pot, and then these arms came over me, and I heard some really seductive music playing. And you know what? I knew it was Swayze, and I wasn't gonna ruin his night, so I just went with it.
Sure, it wasn't Whoopi Goldberg.
I don't know, but she is a bit of a trickster in that film, so I wouldn't put it past her.
And of course, nice guys finish last, right? We saved the best for last. Micah Hanks, how you doing today, my friend?
What do you mean, nice guy? What's that supposed to mean, huh?
Yeah, he's a real jackass if you ask me.
Yeah,
I
I've
gotta
been
live
telling
with
you that for
reputation
years.
now. Right? Hey, look, things are wonderful here in Appalachia. In fact, as Dr. Taylor correctly intuited, I was playing bluegrass last night, and I took a rare Saturday off from that weekend engagement of mine just to be here tonight. So it's a pleasure as always, whether it's in person, which I prefer, or digitally, to be in the hallowed house of Hitchhiker. So here we are, all together again, right?
Yes.
Dude, when you're playing with your
Absolutely.
bluegrass band, what instruments are you playing?
So I play guitar, imagine that, right? But it's
Who's
Caleb
playing?
over
Do you
here.
have a banjo and mandolin player? Any of that? What's going on with that?
We do, so Caleb and I for years performed with Charles Wood. Now I'll back up and say our father, okay, Don
art in heaven.
Senior, our Daddy Don. He is actually a national treasure in my opinion as far as banjo goes. But we have performed for years with Charles Wood, who's a two-time national champion banjo player. He's been on the David Letterman show. He has performed on the Prairie Home Companion. I mean, he has really made the rounds as far as top-notch instrumentalists go. And for some reason, he spent more than a decade touring around the Southeast with Caleb and I, playing bluegrass in a band called Nitrograss. So that said, I'm still moonlighting with Charles, and we performed together last night in Cashiers, North Carolina. But yeah, I'm a one-gun guy. If I haven't got a guitar in my hand, I either have a Guinness or usually, I guess, a laptop or something, right? That's my other day job.
Nitro grass. That sounds like something Caleb was smoking last night.
Well.
So, I heard they played the opening for one of the breweries up there that I got to go to with the guys.
Oh, yeah.
And then they closed it down.
Yeah, they burned it down. The music was so bad they couldn't allow it to live. Well, yeah, Charles
It was a
Wood
party.
played- He played Letterman with Steve Martin. Like Steve Martin hit him up because he wanted a transcription of some banjo music, and he had like a fake name, and this was like their email interaction. And then at the end, when he paid him, he was like, "By the way, I'm actor Steve Martin." And then a couple of months later, he's like, "Hey, do you want to come play David Letterman with me?" And he was like, "Yeah, I can probably make that happen." So it's called Five Men with Banjos Who Know How to Use Them, and they were just beating the brakes off Foggy Mountain Breakdown. And you
Yeah,
can
I've
look it up on
seen
YouTube.
them. I've seen
Yeah.
them. It is something.
It's on YouTube. But the funniest part about all that is if you ever meet Charles, and I mean this lovingly, he's one of my favorite people in the world. He's a huge fan of Rocket City Rednecks, by the way.
Big
Oh,
time.
hey,
Nice.
Funny thing
tell
about
him I
that,
said to stay with it.
yeah,
Hey.
Charles is the most laid-back guy in the world. And if you go up and talk to him, hey, Charles, what's going on? Hey. I mean, it's just deadpan, right?
The embodiment of stoicism.
But you get to know him and he starts telling jokes. And so I had been, mentioning I'd been traveling a lot. And he's like, Micah, can you do that gig with us? And I'm like, I'm going to be back down in Huntsville again. I got to go back down to Huntsville. And I kept saying this. And so I come back from a gig and he goes, are you in Huntsville with Travis? And I'm like, yeah, actually I am. How did you know that? And he said, well, you told me you were going to Huntsville and that you were hanging out with a bunch of rock scientists. So I figured it's probably Travis Taylor. I'm like, how the hell do you know who Travis Taylor is? And he's like, Actually, I'm a huge fan of Rocket City Rednecks. Have you ever watched it? It's hilarious. It's the best show there is. And he loves the show. So he's the biggest fan of Travis Taylor, and we didn't even know it, but he completely intuited that we knew you guys, and that was one reason we were headed down to the hallowed halls of Hitchhiker for band practices.
Got to send an
Makes perfect
autographed
sense to
case
me.
of beer or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we are talking about making a Hitchhiker Band beer, is what I'm hearing.
Oh,
Or just drinking it. I don't know.
Oh, we don't have to
Well,
release it.
There is a
No, no.
Hitchhiker beer, but isn't it that nasty IPA that Micah likes? Who likes that?
I like IPAs, man.
Travis likes
It's
it.
too hoppy
yeah.
for me.
Yeah, Travis and I'll drink it.
I think
Yeah.
I
we
think it's
could-
like 7.5 too.
It'll hit you hard.
We'll drink your.
We're not talking about releasing a beer. We're talking about drinking a
You
beer.
know,
There's a
I
difference-
don't know
vast
that
difference.
everybody's has actually ever seen Hitchhiker. You know, since we've only ever had like 2 gigs.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I think that's a great time to start thinking about that is, we got to start talking about some things. How did this band come to be? I really got to ask that for you guys while we have you. It's, with everyone living states away, all these logistical challenges like we're talking about, having to travel around. How do you guys get to perform this beautiful music? And how did this come to be?
let me see, Johnny. You know, Jay, there was a UFO conference in Huntsville 4 years ago. I think 3 years ago, and Jay had people over at his house, and Jay and I had jammed already a couple of times with a couple of local guys here in the Huntsville and Gunnersville area, and we were down in his basement, where the band gets, practice area set up, while there were people upstairs for the UFO meeting. And we went down and just started jamming on the guitar, and then Micah came down. I didn't know Micah could play, man. And then Micah started playing, and then I realized Micah can really freaking play, And
It's a little better than that. So it was the SU conference. Micah was coming, and I told Micah ahead of time. I said, "Hey, man, bring your guitar. We might get some time to play." And here we are.
Yeah, that was the funny part because, so again, full disclosure, it's Easter Sunday. I'm sitting in Caleb's living room with my entire family, mom, dad, his wife, everybody's there. And
Patrick Swayze.
Patrick
Son
Swayze
of a bitch will not leave our house.
Whoopi Goldberg.
His ghost was there, yeah. But yeah, I got a message though, and I'm like, wow, that's Jay Stratton. I'm like, Caleb, you're not gonna believe this. I just got a message from Jay Stratton. Let's see what he says. And it's like,
I was like, who the fuck is Jay Stratton?
yeah. At that point, Caleb wasn't really as into this stuff, but he knew who Jay was.
Yeah, I just kidding.
I'm like, I just got a message from Jay Stratton. Hang on, let's see what he says. Oh, weird. He's telling me to come to his house and bring a guitar. Not what I expected, but okay, I'm game. And I only peripherally kind of knew that Jay and Travis played guitar at that point. Well, long story short, yeah, as Jay mentioned, it was for the Scientific Coalition for UAP Studies conference. So I show up at Jay's house. First time I've ever come in there, Jay, and I come to the door and everything, and I'm like, okay, what's going to happen in here? And about the time I walk in, I'm already hearing noise coming from downstairs, Yeah, eventually we made our way downstairs, and first it was just Travis and I, then Jay comes and joins us, but then everybody comes downstairs, and they're just hanging out watching the three of us jam, play guitar, and sing. And I remember Jay, when we went back upstairs, Travis comes up, we're all having a beer, and he goes, I got a good idea. We should go out and we should play. We should put a band together and go play at Phenomicon. And I'm like, yeah, that'll never happen. Well, 2 weeks later, I get a message from Travis. Hey, man.
I remember. Did we have somebody there playing drums for us that weekend, Jay? It was Marty there, maybe?
No,
So
I don't think we had anybody drumming. I think
well, I
we were just
remember-
jamming on the guitar.
we went downstairs, and you picked up your PRS, and
PRS.
and did that whammy bar intro sound for Kickstart My Heart. And I was like, yeah, listen. And I just started doing the dun 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 dun, and then Micah just jumped into it and just started, and we played the song. And I remember Chrissy being there and filming it on her cell phone and saying how good we sounded. And I think we were like, hey man, we should be a band.
Well,
I think
and
that's
what
kind of how it
sucked,
started, right?
I was supposed to be there. I got freaking
that's right.
stuck. I was on the way there. I was supposed to be at that party to play with you guys. I get freaking stuck in Dallas airport all damn day. I didn't get to Jay's house until it was 12:40 in the morning. I roll into their house and Jay and Michelle are there waiting for me. I'm like, ah, crap. I felt awful.
Yeah.
But I was pissed. I was like, man, I missed it. I missed my once in a lifetime opportunity to play with these guys because I'd only met Travis and Jay once before at Phenomicon the previous year. Had never met Micah. You know, clearly, obviously didn't know Caleb.
When did Caleb roll into this business?
Caleb just
Phenomicon.
appears.
Dude, can I tell you how this happened? So, like, I hadn't played the drums in 20 years. I always say that because I hadn't. And at this point in my career, I was like, my bones are brittle and I will break so easily and I can't play the drums. And so Micah, no shit, takes me on vacation to butter my ass up to be like, would you know, like, man, like, I need a really good drummer and like, I think you could do it. And like, would you just and so he basically gets me drunk for a weekend. We end up on canoes. We almost got hit by a boat in the dark. Apparently, you shouldn't be on the lake in the dark, drunk in a canoe. And we created a mythology about these guys called the Wafer Brothers, who are real, and they're a real band, and they perform, and they're amazing. Best band I've ever seen. And Micah's like, dude, if you just would like come down here to do this, it would just be super cool. I think it'd be a fun time. I just totally knew in my brain I was gonna do it already, but I was just messing with him. So I was like, I'm just gonna leave him hanging. I'm just gonna not bring it up and just act like I'm not gonna do it. And so the last time he mentions it, he's like, hey man, just throwing it out there. So if it's not something you're interested in, that's fine. And I was like, well, I bought a damn drum set. So I was ready to roll, dude. And yeah, I just started working on it. And, took me a second to get the muscle memory back. But, it is what it is.
That first show we did at Phenomicon 2 years ago, you beat those drums into submission, dude.
Bro,
Literally.
The cymbals didn't survive.
no. I destroyed the cymbal, and then I also subsequently destroyed my thigh because I hit the snare with like rim shots, dude. I'm not kidding. I should have taken a picture of it. Maybe I did, but there was a blood bruise this big on my damn thigh. Dude. Yeah, that's rock and roll.
How did Jimm come into this equation? Yeah, how did we manage to find the king of synth pop?
So
he was volunteered.
So the way that I came
signed his guitar.
I wasn't volunteered. I was voluntold by Michelle. That because if you remember, John, when you told me that you were there that weekend at SCU and that Micah and Travis and Jay were all jamming, and I was like, oh man, how cool would it be just to be there, just to watch it, let alone to be able to jam with them and play with them. And then literally a couple of days later, Michelle sends me this message and she's like, so you ready to play some keyboard? And I'm like, yeah, right. That'd be nice. Thanks for teasing me. She says, no, we're serious. You're going to be in the band. You're going to be the keyboard player in the band. And so that's kind of how I ended up in it, is I just voluntold by Michelle. And like Caleb, I actually I walked away from that first Phenomicon performance with a bruised hand from all beating the shit out of the tambourine is what I was doing. Because there were a number of songs I didn't play any keyboard at all on, so I did some tambourine and some rhythm guitar in the background. But you
didn't even believe me when I told you were in the band.
I didn't.
I got back. I said, look, because it started out the morning after the party. I'm talking to Jay and Michelle, and I'm like, man, I'm pissed that I missed that. And they're like, well, they were talking about maybe getting some guitars together and doing a jam session at Phenomicon or something. I'm like, man, if you do that, I'm going to bring my bass because you don't need another guitar player. I'll play bass. And then 2 days later, after the conference at dinner, now it's, well, Micah will go and we know a guy that can play keys. And he's like, and Micah's like, yeah, my brother can play drums, But I'm telling Jimm about this, and this is hilarious to me. I kept telling him, I'm like, dude, you're in the band. And then we were all talking about how do we find a sound system. We weren't sure what the PA was going to look like yet. And
I don't think we still know what that PA system looks like.
I know, right? We still don't know.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
It's an ongoing problem. But no, Jimm's like, well, my band's got one. He said, if they let my band perform, maybe I'll let them use my sound system or something like that. I'm like, what do you mean you let them? You're in the band. It's like, oh, you meant that? I'm like, yes, I meant that.
You know, if we could play a gig where the sound was actually right, I can't imagine how much better we would be.
It would be amazing if we could hear each other. Can you imagine?
Well,
That'd be so great.
I didn't sing the second verse in "Ain't Talking About Love" this year because I couldn't even hear where we were in the song, and
Wow.
and then they finally kind of worked it. It's so weird because we did the first song we did pretty good. It was Kickstart. Then we did TNT, which we just rocked the house with that one. I felt like,
Yeah.
and then it's like. Who was the guy working the sound? Because something changed between every song. Yeah, it was so weird.
So I
it's
gotta
amazing
ask.
Larry back there. It's always amazing Larry who fucks shit up, doesn't he?
Damn you, amazing Larry, you
Man,
bastard.
that
Yeah.
fucking guy, man.
So I gotta
I
ask,
just-
you're talking about Ain't Talking About Love and all these sound troubles. You guys didn't rehearse that song at all. So how do you guys manage to not rehearse a song, not prepare, and then completely blow everyone's socks off by playing that?
We
We
didn't rehearse
performed that
something like
before.
8 of the songs on the set list this
Yeah.
year, right?
We
living
never played-
living after midnight's a great example.
Exactly. Never played that one time, and that was one of the better songs on the whole set.
And the crowd was singing it along with
Yeah.
us too, dude.
Yeah,
You know?
that one went great.
I knew that one was gonna be badass because when I was on the plane on the way to Phenomicon, I'm sitting there going, "Living after midnight," and this old lady next to me goes, "Rocking through the dark."
Get along with us literally in our row on the plane on the way there. We're like, okay, that's a good omen. But yeah, full disclosure, no, the band actually, but given that we are all somewhat geographically displaced, we have to coordinate in advance. Everybody rehearses. We get together. We go over some performance notes. I mean, Jay, literally like an hour before we went on stage, Jay and I were still going over our last notes. I was still setting up Travis's guitar, about an hour and a half before we went on stage. But then we go on stage, and the remarkable thing is, and I think this speaks to the professionalism and the capability of this band, everybody walks on stage and it comes together. Sure, there were some little hiccups. I mean, I think my guitar dropped out on the third song. We had some sound issues.
Yeah.
But I mean, we performed songs we had never, ever performed before, including a couple of originals. And we did that all in front of a live audience, and it went remarkably smoothly.
Dude, we played an original song that we'd never played before in front of a crowd, and in the middle of the song, the crowd was singing along with us in an original song that they had never heard before.
There you go.
How do you even do that?
Well, one thing I'll say about Hitchhiker, obviously there's gonna be some bumps and bruises and scrapes in our performance because again, we don't always have the opportunity to get, just as tight as we want to get. But I think no matter what, everybody there is having fun. I don't think people really give a shit that we're hitting like the every single note, but it's just a party and it's just like a huge vibe and everybody's having a good time. Like I never talked to anybody after the show that was just like, yeah, if you guys had just nailed the performance a little better. Everybody's like, nah, man, it's fun.
Yeah. And one thing that I'll add, just a further testament, kind of like what Micah was getting at, is I think that every one of us in the band, maybe everybody other than myself, perhaps, are just real world-class musicians. You guys know the material to begin with, and you all just, there was just, I think back to that first rehearsal we had in Alabama last year before Phenomicon 2024. And as soon as we started playing Man in the Box by Alice in Chains, that was the first time. And I was like, there was just a synergy and an energy that just came together. And just when Micah playing that just chunky guitar riff and Caleb and Jay on rhythm, and oh my gosh, it was just, it just felt right. So I think a lot of it just speaks to what great musicians every single one of y'all are. I mean, truly, it's been unlike any other experience I've had where we can go into a situation like that and we just, when it's time to come together, we've got our shit together. And that's a testament to each one of you. So hats off to each of you.
You guys are
And
all
Jimm-
incredible musicians. I am a magician. I actually went to MIT, Magicians Institute of Tallahassee. I can do some crazy David Blaine shit, fam.
And Jimm, don't be too humble. I do believe you were, at least at some point, a member of a certain musical academy award system.
Years ago, I was a member of the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences. That's the organization that puts on the Grammys every year. So I used to be a member of the Academy, and I produce music professionally, and I'm an audio engineer. That's what I do as a trade. So that's kind of my life is immersed in music from sun up to sundown. So yeah, it's fun. But I'll tell you, playing on stage with Hitchhiker is a hell of a lot more fun than any of those Grammy awards were.
I've been in a bunch of bands, dude, and I can tell you that I enjoy playing with Hitchhiker more than I enjoy playing with any of the bands I ever grew up with, man.
I gotta tell you,
So much
one
fun.
of one of the highlights of this entire experience was our very first rehearsal. I can't remember which song it was. It was one of the Guns N' Roses songs.
Paradise City. Paradise City.
Paradise City. At
Travis's
the end of Paradise.
Reaction. Oh my God. Travis's
we
reaction.
hit that last note. He looks around at us, grinning ear to ear. He's like, "Fuck yeah, fuck yeah!" I'm like, "Yep, that sounded pretty damn good."
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I do have to
You
ask.
know it. It's like when you're bowling or throwing darts or shooting basketball or whatever. When you let one go from the 3-point line and you know it's gonna go swish, you know it, right?
Absolutely.
And when you just finished a song and the energy was so high, like when the last time we did Man in the Box and you know everybody was right on time. I hit every one of those freaking high notes, and Jimm, you were right there, you know, with me, and when it was done, it was like, fuck yeah! I mean,
Awesome.
that was like hitting a 3-pointer on the buzzer, man.
Yep. Amen, brother.
So I gotta throw a curveball at y'all because I gotta know, and I know the people at home want to know some things about you guys. So I'm gonna start this one with my dad. Let's go to Jay, and I gotta ask, what was the first time? What's the thing that made you realize you had a real affinity for music? What started this journey for you?
Well, it was probably the fact that people listened, right? I mean, you know, I started, I think around 1985 with an acoustic guitar and picked it up pretty quickly. I never had a lesson at any point. I just, I don't know, start playing around, looking at guitar magazines and everything else and figured it out. And when I was playing, just kind of hanging out and people started paying attention, I think that's what really got my attention. And then, you know, by the time I was done with that, even before I ever bought an electric guitar, kind of a party trick, even in high school, was you could turn on the radio and I could just start playing whatever was coming on because it wasn't that hard either back then, with especially as some of the music got simpler and simpler. And then later on in the 90s, right, with Pearl Jam and Nirvana and all those kinds of bands, it got really easy. And people don't know. They hear you playing this song that's on the radio and they think, oh wow, that's really cool. And we're thinking, oh, that's pretty easy, but it's catchy, right? And I think that's what's cool about you know, bet they rock and roll. You know, like you said, people were singing in the audience, never heard it before because it's catchy. And that's what gets the attention and keeps people coming. But starting down the path, you know, just figuring out that I could actually do it, and I didn't need anybody's help. It was fun.
Was there a
Chords and the
first
truth,
song
brother.
that really just made you know you had it?
Probably the first time I played that intro to Wanted Dead or Alive, right?
Yeah.
Because it sounds so hard, but it's really not. But you know, people know it when they hear it.
Yeah. Travis, when did you realize that you had a real talent and love of music?
Well,
What was the
love
thing?
music, you know, my whole life, man. I mean, my grandparents were in the Grand Ole Opry, you know. But when I was, God, so it would have been 1978, I think it was. I had 3 albums that I had. I borrowed 2 from my aunt, and one I bought with my allowance. It was Kiss Alive 2, the one I paid for with my allowance. And then it was ELO's Time,
Nice.
and then the other one. So that would have been 1980, I think. ELO's Time. It would have been
Yep.
the one before Time because it was Time hadn't come out. It was one that had Turn to Stone on it.
Oh, yeah.
And then Queen, the one that has like the big stone robot looking thing on the cover. I think it was just called Queen. And
End of the worlds.
News of the world.
that's it. Yep.
News of the world. News of the
So
world.
I just sat there and I put them on back in the day, you know, you put the records on, it had that little thing on it. And when one would finish, it would fall and the next one would play and so on.
Yep.
And during summer vacation, I'd spend hours just singing every song from beginning to end of the albums with them and trying to be Paul Stanley's voice, trying to be Ace Frehley or Gene Simmons' voice, or trying to be Jeff Lynne. You know, Jeff Lynne is one of the most talented people you can imagine, dude. I mean, he is an amazing talent. And then, of course, Queen. I mean, Freddie Mercury's probably the most voice talent recognized to anybody, you know, anywhere in the world. And so I didn't pick up guitar. This is really interesting. As much as I love to sing, it was the first time in 1986 when I saw an unknown band called Guns N' Roses open for Motley Crue.
I was born that year.
Guns N' Roses, shut up, Caleb. Guns N' Roses blew Motley Crue off the freaking stage, dude. And when I watched Slash jamming, I was like, dude, I want that guitar, and I want to learn how to play guitar like that dude. Of course, I haven't done either one of them yet, but I have endeavored. Let's just put it that way. But so since 1986, I have my uncle was in all sorts of bands, rock bands and stuff, and he started just showing me basics about how to play. First song he taught me was Helter Skelter, and I played it the Motley Crue way, and then I went from there. And then the next song I learned was probably one of my grandparents' country songs, and then after that was Sweet Home Alabama, and then of course the next song was Used to Love Her But I Had to Kill Her, and then I started playing real songs, you know, started playing harder songs than that, and started learning. Like Jay said, when the flannel era came along, that stuff was pretty easy, except for anything by Soundgarden, you know, or Alice in Chains, because they always had some kind of weird, crazy ass tuning. And once you learn how to change tunings of the guitar, you're starting to learn a little bit about how the music worked.
Yep.
And that was when I kind of started learning. But it's always been, I kind of been the Aerosmith, Steven Tyler, Joe Perry philosophy: screw tuning, let's play.
There you go.
That's awesome. Let's hear from John. Let's hear what you got. When did you realize that music was something that you could do? What was the moment you realized that you had this talent? Because I know you play many instruments. You might be our bass player for this band, but you play several others as well.
Kick-ass guitar player too.
Yeah, and piano player. Like Neiberger is the unassuming stealth motherfucker in the band.
Yep,
Oh,
that's
he even
right.
plays drums too, don't you?
Barely. I used to, but it
Dude.
would take a while to get
Dude,
back
you should
into
play so we
shape.
can switch off on a tune.
I totally would be up. If I could do it, I would be up for that.
You could
Trade
do it.
off for some songs. But no, I grew up, had an acoustic guitar and a piano in the house, and then I looked it up. That ELO album was Out of the Blue because I had the same album.
Out of the Blue.
Freaking amazing.
Yes.
So I
is
listened to
an
that
amazing
stuff.
album. Yes.
I listened to that, but we had Boston, Journey, that type of stuff.
My brother had an 8-track of Flirting with Disaster, Molly Hatchet, and Ted Nugent live.
Yep, Molly Hatchet. Yep, all that kind of stuff. We had a lot of that. Plus, Bee Gees, Casey and the Sunshine Band, all that stuff in the house. But I didn't start playing until like I was 14 on acoustic guitar. I played the very first song I learned was Ghost Riders in the Sky. That I remember that, and then from then on it was lots and lots of John Denver, Johnny Horton,
and Don Denver.
That's right. Yeah, but then later I don't know when it hit me that I think once I started playing, I just always wanted to play something. I even went to college for it for a couple of semesters until I dropped out to start a band.
That's awesome.
But I actually
Micah,
was
what
a
about
music
yourself?
major. Yep.
Micah, when did you learn that music was something that you just had this? I can't even describe it as anything other than talent. I don't have a thesaurus quite like yourself.
Yeah. Well, few do, my friend. Few do. What can they rhyme?
Oh, the humility.
I know, right? No, all kidding aside, though, it was a lot like what Jay described, though. When I was a kid growing up, Caleb and we grew up in a household with a father who is a multi-instrumentalist, and he could do everything else too. I mean, my dad, he was really serious into exercise, and he was bodybuilding.
He's still alive, dude.
Yeah, in fact, actually, he called me this morning and literally was like, well, I got to jump off here, Spud. I got to go downstairs and do my workout. He still works out, and he's almost 80, and he's weightlifting every day. Yet
That's
again,
why he's almost 80.
Yeah.
and looks like he's
God
maybe
bless him.
55. Yeah, he's doing great. And again, that's something that I've found that Jay and Travis and I all kind of have in common. We have a mutual appreciation for fitness. Jonny, I'll extend that to Jonny as well. But
I'd flex, but I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt.
well, if you flexed, you'd just break right out of the shirt. So you got to be careful.
Exactly.
Right? You know, when you get as cut as you are, I know how it goes. Yeah. No, our father being an incredible musician and, having performed with Grammy award-winning artists like David Holt and having recorded with, so many people over the years. And in fact, Caleb and I, a couple of times, we were actually brought into the studio to sing back up and do things as kids. We were always around instruments. But like Jay, for me, it was about the time I got into middle school and high school. I had an acoustic guitar, and I would drag it with me to school. And I would sit there and play in the mornings, and I would sit there and I would play on the bus on the way home, and I would stash my guitar in my locker. And, at first it's like, here comes the annoying hippie with the guitar. But by the end of the year, then they had me playing at the prep rally, and I was doing like the Star Spangled Banner at the prep rally at school. And then, I was winning the talent shows, and then I was sweet talking the teachers into bringing my kid brother, who happened to be a badass drummer, over from middle school, and he was playing with me at the high school talent show, and we were winning every year, And at that point, we kind of realized, hey, we could really do this. And then we got out of high school, and instead of pursuing our lifelong music dream, we decided to become interested in the unexplained. Started driving down to Brown Mountain and studying UFOs and stuff like that. Interestingly, we made something out of that, I think you could argue. But I mean, we have always been musicians, and I'll never forget a day where my brother was complaining about, needing some pocket change at some point. And I said, Caleb, I know you're a great drummer and you're, great on every instrument, but if you could learn how to play this one, and I, hand him an old A-style mandolin, like a little Ibanez our father had. And I said, if you could just play some mandolin, I could line you up with a bunch of work. Within 2 weeks, Caleb was playing mandolin, and he'd been signed on to the band I was in at that time. And he was performing with that band, and then we went out on the road and everything and started playing bluegrass. And we did that for a number of years too. And so for us, it was both a matter of necessity, but also just kind of, having music around us our whole lives and growing up with that. And it's always been one of those interesting things where it's almost like an unspoken language. If you speak the language, others will pick up on it. I had no idea initially when I, as a journalist, start going to an aerospace conference and I'm meeting with Jay Stratton or I'm talking with Travis Taylor. But after about a year, when Jay's inviting me to his house and saying, oh, yeah, bring that Les Paul too, it really started to make sense. I realized we all spoke the same language.
True that, brother. Amen.
That's amazing. That is awesome. It's a different kind of language from what I understand. I mean, I don't understand it. I'm terrible as a musician.
Well,
but
to
Jimm,
demonstrate it really quickly before you go to Jimm, I'll just demonstrate.
Yeah.
I know we said we wouldn't talk about any classified stuff, but I'll just leave you with this, an example of the language.
You were discretion advised.
Qua omsa. All right. Did you hear that? Did you listen? I hope you got it, because that's all you're going to hear. That is the language. If anybody can decipher that, well, I'll award you with the You Deciphered It medal. All right, go ahead, Jimm.
Jimm, when did you learn that you had this fantastic just affinity for music? I mean, you are beyond the level of musician of my comprehension.
Well, you're far too kind. Thank you for that. I actually came from a very musical household. My parents, neither of them were really into it that much, but I'm the youngest of 7 siblings, and they were all really heavily into music. I started like my dad, he was always listening to stuff like Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass and Johnny Cash and all the classic old school country and stuff, and a lot of easy listening like Frank Sinatra, Perry Como, stuff like that, stuff that as a kid I can't stand. And then my mom was a lot more forward thinking. My mom was really into a lot of stuff like the Beatles, Beach Boys, and of course with my siblings at the time in the 70s, it was all about the Grateful Dead, the Pink Floyd, Beatles and the Stones. So I grew up on, a heavy dose of that. But I discovered along about 1978, 79, a schoolmate of mine, and I was in like first grade, and he had this album that he brought into school one day by a band called Kiss, and it happened to be the album Kiss Destroyer, and that right there set me on the path, and I became the biggest Kiss fan. I wanted to be Ace Frehley. I went so far as to I don't know if you remember, there used to be like these Kiss action figures, like 12, big
I remember them,
Kiss
I had 'em.
dolls.
Yes,
And
sir.
and so I always asked my mom to get me the Ace Frehley one, and they released this made for TV movie called Kiss Meets the Phantom in the Park, which to a 7-year-old was the coolest thing of all time. Between that and Star Wars, that was my year sorted right there.
Oh, if
But-
Paul Stanley had that power that he could like shoot the beams out of his eyes and stuff.
Right,
and
right.
Ace
like
could
the
like
Save
teleport by
Christmas.
doing like
Yep.
this,
Doing the backflips and shit. Yeah, it was they were superheroes to me. So, but I started.
they were superheroes.
They
that
were
movie was real, man.
That's right. So I started playing. My parents had me start playing violin in third grade, and I absolutely hated it. I couldn't stand it. And then the next year, I got into the actual band instruments. I wanted to play drums, but my mom and dad said, "No way are we going to let you play drums in this house." So
My parents said the same thing. Don't worry.
So they turned me on to the clarinet because my older brother played a clarinet, and so I inherited his, and I fucking hated it. I got beat up, got made fun of because I was the only guy in the band playing clarinet. So I finally convinced my parents to let me try the trumpet, and did
you go to band camp though? That's the big thing.
I did. There was this one time
That
at
one
band
time?
camp, I stuck up. Oh, never mind. But big shout out to those of you that catch that reference there. But no, what really started me on where I'm at right now with keyboards and synthesizers is my mom turned me on to the music of this band out of Germany called Kraftwerk. And it was a song called Autobahn. It came out in like 1975. And Kraftwerk are the ones that basically started the modern era of electronic music. And, it's very robotic, very, it's to somebody like me that is into science fiction and a lot of stuff like that, it was really cool. So Kraftwerk, and then later on, I got into, the 80s, of course, hit. And, I always loved Pink Floyd again. Rick Wright, keyboard player of Pink Floyd, but started, my mom and dad bought me my first keyboard when I turned 16 and along about 1986, so thereabouts, same year as you started, Travis. And, when I really got into all the 80s synth bands like Depeche Mode, OMD, New Order, Pet Shop Boys, Duran Duran, Thompson Twins, all that. And so that's what set me on the road. And then I decided that kind of like Jay and Travis mentioned, I don't know if it was like this for you, Jay, but when I got to where I could play fairly good, I learned that chicks were more impressed by a guy that could play music and sing than a guy that could play football, which is what I did also during my high school years. It wasn't great at, but I decided that I wanted to do this music thing, and eventually I went to school for it and went to school to learn music recording and technology. And along about 2003, I joined the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences and decided to leave my job with working for eBay's corporate office and decided to, on a leap of faith, produce music full time. And here I am today and found myself doing it. And music, one thing I'll say that kind of Travis and Micah were touched upon is I think music is it's a universal language. I think it's God's language. And I think it's the one thing that speaks to everybody. Music it's something that either moves you or it doesn't. There's kind of no in between. And I just that's kind of how I view it. So yeah, I'm just a music junkie all around. I love everything, really do.
It's amazing. It really is a language I need to learn because clearly, that's what I'm missing out on if chicks dig it so much. So I gotta take some lessons from you.
But what Jimm probably figured out pretty soon after that is the chicks go after the lead singer and the guitar players, not the bassists and the drummers and the keyboard players.
Yeah, but when you're
just look at the attractive guitar players and the singers in this band, and the ladies are dangerous.
Yes, they are. Just be careful what you wish for.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, it's
Caleb,
fantastic.
Caleb, tell us
I know,
about you,
right?
man.
Well, he is our Kiss version of a superhero in this band, Caleb.
That's
When?
right.
And I'm terrified of this answer because I know it will be fantastic. But when did you learn that you had such an amazing talent and love of music?
Well, let me start off at the beginning, and Micah can attest to this.
This is going to take a half hour. Go
When
ahead.
we were kids, mom and dad always had MTV and VH1 on. So I heard all the stuff. And one day I'm sitting there and I hear, I was like, what is this beautiful angelic voice? So I learned it's Michael McDonald, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to be Michael. So mom bought me this little play school piano, and she got me a little salt and pepper mullet wig and a little dress coat, and I would sit there at the piano and just bang on it and I was maybe 5. I did that for the next 19 years until dad was like, Caleb, for the love of God, you have to stop. The family's worried about you. Please. He was crying. It was really intense and really emotional. And that's when I gave up my Michael Ronald McDonald tribute band, where I would wear Ronald McDonald makeup, but I would dress like Michael McDonald and play all of his hits. After that was done, so when I actually was a kid, outside of my Michael McDonald cover band, I bought 2 records with my own money. I'm not kidding. Orinoco Flow by Enya and Bad Hair Day by Weird Al Yankovic.
Weird
So
Al.
this kind of
I love that album.
this
Weird.
kind of sets my trajectory, guys. So and then so like I was super into that. Me and Micah are jamming like Dire Straits and shit back in the day, Metallica, the Beatles, like all that stuff, Sabbath. We get progressively heavier and heavier. I start playing the drums. We start playing Pantera. Me and Micah are like Vinnie Paul and Dimebag Darrell are brothers. Micah and I are brothers. We're playing shit like Pantera. We had a couple of failed metal bands, but they were fun as hell, and we just like got really into that stuff. I've always loved just like super, super melodic music. I got into the punk rock thing. Blink-182 was honestly kind of a paradigm for me because they were simple. They were like kind of like the Ramones. Their songs were simple, but they were just fun as shit. They were super good, and their music videos were funny as hell. So I was like, here's rock and roll, and it's kind of got that Weird Al stuff with the video. So I was super into that. And then later on, you know, I kind of started developing my own style. I had a band that was touring for a good long while called Nova Echo, and it was like this like spacey electronic pop band, and we actually got signed by Warren Haynes from Government Mule, and he's played with the Allman Brothers and all that stuff. But we got signed to his record label back in the like 2010 or so, and we did it for a while. But honestly, the touring stuff just kind of started getting to me, and I wasn't feeling it after a while. And breaking a band is hard as hell, dude. So you got to really love it to try to get in there. But I have written and recorded music for a super long time. And I still have like a bunch of different secret side projects and stuff. I'm about to start putting a lot more of that out on the internet to the people. Like I haven't really ever even told like the audience of Ghosts in the Mountains, the podcast that I do with my buddy Austin Burgess. I haven't really told people about the music that I make, but I'm about to start doing it full time. And I also have like made a couple of comic books and stuff, and I'm trying to do some new ones and kind of make like a hub on the internet for all that shit that people can just come and enjoy. So that's
Well, if you would ever finish mixing our songs, we could put them out there.
The mix is done.
Well,
I'm
he's
waiting on a
guitar
couple of different
player,
albums.
wherever that guy is, you know, that dude who's supposed to be putting those leads on there.
I wish he would hurry up and get off his ass and do it, honestly.
No.
We're gonna do it.
That guy
It's
sits
gonna
on his
happen.
ass all the time too, is what I hear.
What we need to do is plan a weekend or something where we're gonna show up and from daylight until 3 days later we don't leave and we record an album.
Yeah, but
I think what
the last time we all went to the cabin and did that, I mean, we spent 7 days. We planned to be there 3. 8 people went in, 6 came out. I mean, I thought we were never going to talk about that. That's the thing.
How is Jimmy Hoffa, by the way?
That's
Oh, no,
how
he-
Skinner did it, man. Skinner went to a little cabin like that there in Florida.
Dude,
And then they went up here to Muscle Shoals and did their last album.
Hey,
I've got
as long
the
as
whole
we
idea.
have, we got to have tacos though, man. If we got to bring some tacos, man.
there are great cabins up in Cherokee, North Carolina, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a thing called Fear and Loathing in Cherokee, and we're going to all get in one cabin and record the thing there, but we're going to get T-shirts made that's the acronym for Fear and Loathing in Cherokee, which is phallic.
This sounds like a plan to me. If you guys are down with it, I'm totally cool.
So you heard it here first, folks. Hitchhiker the Band will be releasing a single one day. Not today, not tomorrow, maybe one day. It's going to happen eventually.
What's funny
But-
is it's already played on Coast to Coast AM.
Yeah, it's been
That's
done
true.
for a year.
What? What?
What?
Well,
Yeah, did you guys know this?
I did not know about this. What?
Me
So
either.
what
Yeah.
happened was, so George Knapp, reached out and he said, Micah, look, I'm going to be doing Coast to Coast on this Sunday because he always hosts that one Sunday of the month.
Mhm.
And so George said, would you come on? And if you don't mind, I'd like to play a cut by Hitchhiker. And I said, I think I can do a radio edit because they're only going to play 20 seconds, right? Well, because of his deeply embedded intelligence sources throughout the world, Jay Stratton by the next morning already knew I was going to be going on Coast to Coast AM. And he's like, hey, Micah, you going on Coast to Coast? What song you guys going to play? I said, I got this worked out, man. Don't worry. So we featured this wonderful song that Caleb has written, which Travis Taylor sings, and which the band performed this year at Phenomenon, known as The Tether. And we did a 20-second, teaser of that. But the lead-in was the best part because we're coming back from the break, and there's George Knapp, and he's saying, Mike, I know you're in this band with a bunch of guys. They're a bunch of government spooks. Literally, he says it. There's only a few million people out there, listening to late night radio, and he's saying some of the guys that you're in this band with, people might know, Dr. Travis Taylor of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, Jay Stratton, who's also been on that, but of course, who led the UAP task force, your brothers in this band, Jimm Kjelgaard, John Neiberger, not Neiberger. And I said,
Thanks.
yeah, all those guys are in the band. This is crazy. You're remarkably well researched on this, George. And then he played the sound bite that we sent along and everything, which was kind of a teaser. But, it was really cool because of all the bands I've been in, and this is kind of coming back to what Travis was saying earlier, of all the bands I've been in, none of them have ever gotten that much airplay. Okay.
That's for damn sure.
But this band, understandably, got a lot of airplay. And again,
Millions of people heard it, right?
they really did. Yeah, it was really, and plus, in addition to the millions of people listening to this song that Caleb wrote and that the band performed, we're also talking about the work that Jay and that Traz have done and everything, and really the broader UAP topic. And so I'll just say that moment, in addition to the music making its way to millions of people, it was a very important moment for other reasons too. Here we are all discussing, the music and that common language we share. But there's also a much deeper dimension to it and something much more important that we all share, an interest that we all have, and a goal that I think that we all hope to achieve in terms of bringing not just music, but also certain knowledge, certain information to the public as well. So, it was a really strange moment for me seeing all that kind of, come together very intricately interwoven in that 20 seconds on the air in the middle of the night. Well worth staying up way too late for.
Yeah, that's awesome. I had no idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, at this point, the tether is done, except I think Micah has some perfectionism that he wants to monkey around with it. I'd say put it out the way it is. But then I bet they rock and roll is pretty much done. You could tweak it a little if you wanted to, but I say release them, dude, and let's get the others that we've been writing. Let's get them recorded and let's get them out there.
Yeah,
We can make it happen.
yeah. There's at least one other that I know Travis was working on, right? There's another one that you kind of sent us
Oh,
a
the kicking
demo
and
of.
screaming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then Travis and I just started composing a ballad just a little while ago. So we're gonna have hopefully at least an EP's worth of stuff would be awesome. But yeah, I say let's get that shit out, man.
Well, there are other ideas too. At the last practice, Jay was playing a cool riff, and he's like, "What do you think we could do with this?" And Caleb was like, "Yeah, that sounds really, really good. That cool arpeggiation thing." And
Yeah, he's been playing that for a couple of years, trying to put something. That's what you were playing. Like that first time we got together, I think Jay, I'm telling you, if we just got in the room and started recording some of this stuff, we could put it together pretty quick.
Well, I'm going to talk to my AI assistant and have it book us a cabin somewhere in
Cherokee.
In Cherokee, yeah. And we're just going to go ahead and book the cabin.
Well, we should pick a place that's close to a hub or driving distance to at least some of the band, right? Not some place that you can't get to from here.
Now let's do Atlantic City.
Then we won't get you in there to do anything,
What,
dude.
what, Doc? Whatever do you mean?
But if we were to actually do something like that and it were economical for all members of the band, I'll be the first to say I'd be the first one there. I mean, I'll go ahead and book it.
Yes.
Just let me know when.
Can I just jump in real quick?
Absolutely.
Because there's a burning question that I think we all really, I mean, this is maybe the biggest question of the night. Like, seriously. Roger, dude, like you've won 17 Grammys. You have 4 platinum albums. Where does it come from, dude? You're a god. You're a god here, and you've just been chilling. What the fuck?
Listen, I don't like to talk about that stuff because it's deeply personal to me. And you know what? In all seriousness, you guys are awesome because I love music. I love listening to music. But when it comes to playing instruments, I don't have any musical talent that way. So I get to be on the opposite end. I get to sit back and enjoy what you guys do. And that's the part I love.
Dude, you know what
And
makes
what's
me really
fantastic is, thank you, Caleb, because the very next thing on my list is for us to not forget our great friend Roger. He's been sitting here patiently for nearly an hour. I am positive he has a couple questions or at least something. Please ask a question. That way I'm not the one just, running over and steamrolling everybody here. Let's see what you got to ask, Roger.
No, you've done great, Jonny. I appreciate that. And you guys have answered a lot of the questions that I had. But I will ask you kind of a crazy question. So, knowing that Hitchhiker has played 2 times at Phenomicon, and obviously there's times where, you guys haven't been able to get together. So, are there any superstitions or pre-performance rituals that you have to do akin to, like Caleb dressing up as Bucky? And, making everybody come together and laugh. And are there any things that you guys do to hype yourself up and get ready for those performances?
Yeah, just a lot of cocaine.
And beer.
Yeah, that's right. Cocaine and bourbon.
Cocaine does it.
I don't
You
know.
got
I don't know about you guys,
you
but
got a rock a pocket fuel of puke. If anybody knows that reference.
why don't you tell us about that one? Explain that for anybody in the audience who doesn't know.
That's a great movie with called The Rocker with Dwight from The Office, where he plays the drums for the band that was supposed to be as big as Motley Crue, but gets kicked out the night they signed the record deal. It's actually a pretty good movie that got buried somehow. I like watching it.
I just don't know how he ran so fast.
Right? I can tell you guys
He had the power.
an unplanned pre-show ritual. So Doc Taylor, before the show, he's getting energized. He's like ready to go. He's getting stoked, getting pumped. And he's just like, man, I'm getting like jittery because I'm just so excited to play. And I was just like, he's trying to take care of his voice because we play a pretty damn long set live, and a lot of those songs are like 80s shit. So those registers are on up there, dude. It is not an easy thing to do. And Doc's wanting to take care of his voice. He's not trying to overdo anything, but I'm like that little bastard devil on his shoulder, and I'm like, "You feeling a little jittery, brother? I know a little something that'll help you if you're into it. There's a bottle of whiskey backstage, and one little shot's not gonna do anything. It's not gonna hurt you that bad." And so Doc, being the cool-headed, consummate professional, was like, "Yeah, fuck it, let's go drink some."
As he's cutting the sleeves off his shirt.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Hey, and also, Micah, why don't you and Doc tell everybody about the post-show ritual that you both partook in that was not planned either?
Well, yeah, that was really fun. I've never had a severe muscle cramp occur on stage, but this year it happened. Apparently during Freebird, my leg muscle locked up, and so I had to hobble off the stage. Most people have somebody who comes back there to help them, but here comes Travis Taylor. So here I am laying there in extreme discomfort on a chair backstage. And Travis is like, "Hang on, man, this is really going to hurt, but I'm going to help you." And he comes and grabs my leg, and he immediately found the muscle. I'm screaming. I'm like, "God, oh!" but yeah, so I mean, I'm the only person who can say, I'll walk off the stage, and Travis Taylor is my personal massage therapist who's helping me with a leg muscle cramp. But you know what? I was able to walk again right after that. So I might still be crippled if it weren't for Dr. Travis Taylor. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened there, man. I think you were dehydrated or something. I don't know.
Yeah, something's going on.
I just
G
love that
string was too
visual
tight or
of
something.
Travis back there giving him the fucking dim mock, and Micah just
It's true. That really happened. Yeah.
Well, I had my thumb really in there, dude.
and then he slipped one somewhere else, and
Yeah,
things
it's like,
got
that's
real
not my
weird.
leg, Travis. That's not my leg.
Uncle, safe word. What's the safe word?
I'm just gonna have to bring a whole case
God.
of IV supplies and just hang IV bags, and you're gonna be backstage.
Yes.
Everyone's gonna think you're shooting drugs, but no, it's just fluids.
You're all old men.
As I recall, the way it normally goes, just to answer Roger's question from my perspective, from what little I can remember, because remember I had myself a big thump on the head afterward. But from what I recall, Travis, like Caleb was saying, Travis is trying to get himself, psyched up, and Jay's over there is always calm as cool as a cucumber, just kind of getting his mind focused on the gig. Caleb and Micah are there, just being Caleb and Micah, and me and John are just stressing like all get out. Like, okay, I got to do this chord. This is how this chord progression for this song goes, and so it's usually it's just we had such a good time. I actually filmed the moment that we were waiting to go on stage this year at Phenomicon, and it's not suitable for public content.
Hell yeah.
Well, I will
But
tell you.
I'll send it to each of you guys though, so that you guys can see it, because it's
Please.
pretty freaking awesome.
I will tell you, because the sound check has been such a fiasco at
Such a
Phenomenon
clusterfuck, yeah.
that we haven't been able to really do a sound check and then go relax for a minute, right? And it's been try to get something working before the show starts and everybody's already in the venue, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think the live sound check is just part of the ritual that gets everybody excited and brings that intimacy into the music, though.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's funny because we always do like half a song, and the crowd's starting to get into the song by the time we stop.
Yeah.
Put the sound up.
I guess
Jay,
it's
what's your-
tradition now, though.
Yeah.
Listen for Jay.
What's mine?
Yeah, what's your pre-show ritual?
It's like Jim said. I'm just going through stuff in my head. I'm a walking checklist. So,
Yep.
it doesn't matter if if it's a rocket coming in the middle of Baghdad or going on stage with Hitchhiker. I know what checklist I'm running, and I'm going to go do it. So no real ritual. Just ready to go have fun.
So you heard it here,
I
folks.
can testify to that too, Johnny. We were doing a little just an impromptu gig there near your house back last spring or something.
It's St. Patty's Day.
St.
Yeah,
Patrick's
and
Day,
there was somebody said something, and I said, "Hey, let's play this song." And Jay's like, "It's not on the list."
Well, a Hitchhiker Band is apparently equivalent to a rocket coming in Baghdad. That's the biggest takeaway I just heard.
Yep.
Yeah, we're like an
Sounds
explosion
a
on
song,
stage,
man.
right?
Rockets
Yeah.
in Baghdad.
That's a different
Well,
way to
more
rock
like
your
a-
world.
We're more like unexploded ordnance.
Ooh, that's a great title for a song.
That's
There
a
you
great title for
Yeah.
a song. Roger, hit us with
Speaking of
another one.
checklists,
Well, we
How
got to
do you
hear from
guys-
John.
well, I was just curious because with and John, maybe you can help with this too. But how do you guys come up with what you guys are going to sing? Like, how do you guys decide? Like for Phenomenon this year, how are we going to nail down those songs, and what do we practice before?
I tell you
Little-
what, it takes 9 months.
Little known fact, John is actually the best singer in the band.
No. God, no. Unless it's bass. I can sing bass.
Dude, I heard you do Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On at karaoke one night when you were completely blackout drunk. You might not remember it, but everyone in
We
there
weren't
was
supposed
crying.
to talk about that.
I
Yeah,
thought it
we-
was Beauty Comes Out of Ashes, but I was
No, beauty
blackout
comes out
too.
of asses.
When John said, "Paint me like one of your French girls," we all just kind of got the fuck
right.
out of there.
We have like, I think all of us we have a rolling text group that we're in, a chat group, and we're texting, hey, let's try this song, let's do this song, let's do that song. And it's like, well, how many guitars are you gonna have? Because that's in a different tuning. And so we didn't play some songs this year because we didn't bring enough guitars to play them in the different tunings. And I think this year I hand wrote down what I thought was, I think we decided 20 songs is what we had time for, I think. And I took a screenshot of it. Then Jay took the screenshot and made it into a working set list. And then we started cutting and adding or whatever, changing until we all agreed that this is what we could do in the amount of time that they were going to let us play this year. Now, I will say they've already asked us back for next year.
Oh, they did.
What?
Woohoo!
Nice.
Fantastic.
Doesn't that feel great to be asked to come back after all of these shows? I mean,
Yes.
yeah, it's not a disaster if they ask you to come back.
We love Phenomicon.
Yeah, they didn't call the cops; they called us back. Yeah.
Right. If we could play together even once a month, we would blow the socks off of people. But
Oh yeah.
even though we don't,
Jay.
we still seem to knock the socks off. And I'll throw out there, Travis. I drove up to North Carolina to hang with the guys. It ain't that far of a drive, so for the two of us, it's pretty easy. And I'll go back anytime, because I think that helped. Even though we spent more time on our own Weird Al Yankovic versions of Hurt and Wicked Games, but
Legendary.
those were great songs.
Hey, nothing beats reps, man. You just get reps together. I mean, that's how you learn, who's taking the back cut or the face cut and going in for the, the slam. So, I mean, that's reps is what we need. And so we should find a mutually agreeable location for everybody and try to get there at least once every 2 months anyway for an evening of jamming.
Let's start a
And I hope you
nonprofit so we can fund that.
Let's do
Yes.
it. Let's do
Hell,
it.
we should
I
do a
hope
show.
you guys don't mind,
Do a
but
show
We
here
might
in
do
Utah.
the
that.
fire service of the DC, Maryland, Virginia area absolutely loved Turd, the Weird Al Yankovic of Hurt. I had to show it to a bunch of people. That was probably the greatest video I've ever been able to show guys. Like a couple of guys at the firehouse would just, I shit myself today
This makes
randomly.
me so happy.
It's great. It's absolutely perfect.
Dude,
Well-
so let me just, if nobody knows what we're talking about here, people might be excited to know that, as insane as this is, Micah, Jay Stratton, and myself put on one of the most legendary living room concerts, impromptu, that has ever existed. And it just so happens that one day I'm sitting at the house, I'm bored, and I hear, I hurt myself today. And I was like, nah, dog, I shit myself today. And I wrote an entire song about being, honestly, my age, 39, and just the old O-ring don't work as well as it used to. And, it's unpredictable. So I start writing this song. And so next thing I know, me, Micah, Jay have a couple Guinness. He starts playing Hurt. And I'm like, oh, fuck. This is why I wrote this. And I start singing, I shit myself today. And it became apparently a pretty infamous situation. So I am just really glad that I got to share that with you guys because it's, to me, one of the most important performances of my life.
Well,
It
when
was fantastic.
Jay started playing Purple Rain,
Yeah.
first Phenomenon, and you started singing Doctor
Doctor
Strange.
Strange.
So I went and I wrote
Doctor
I got the
Strange.
lyrics for it for the whole song, dude.
We can do it.
Yeah. Taylor's got a whole repertoire of lyrics to songs that are all Marvel themed alternate lyrics. It's literally the multiverse of popular songs, but the
Oh.
Travis is written with Marvel themed lyrics to all these songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got Iron Man. I am Iron Man.
I
That's
am
amazing.
Iron Man
Yeah.
running over fat kids with my van.
There you go.
Oh,
So you don't stop for the fat ones is what I heard, but okay. You guys down for some rapid fire questions? Some just simple, quick and answers?
Yes,
Yeah,
fire
go.
away.
Fire
Let's
away.
hear
Then
it.
we're going to call it.
All right, this one terrifies me, but what was the last song you guys had on repeat?
Song repeat.
You listened to it like a dozen times. What was the last song you guys had on repeat? I hope there is one.
I tell you what, I've been
Actually,
listening
it
to
was,
for the last few days over and over on repeat. and that's a song by the Toadies called Backslider.
Hell yeah, dude.
That song rocks, dude.
Possum
That one
Kingdom.
and Filters, Hey Man, Nice Shot. I've been listening to those two repetitively lately, thinking we should do a song kind of like those two songs.
Yeah, another one for me, Dragula by Rob Zombie.
Fuck
Yes.
Damn.
Yep.
Hold that
Oh
thought.
man,
I've been listening
Living
to
Dead
Caleb's
Girl, man.
Misfits song.
Me and Micah. Oh, you've been jamming Dig Up Her Bones cover?
Man, I keep it on my phone for sure. It's a
Bro,
good song.
Thanks,
Travis hadn't
man.
heard that.
Yeah, I need to send it to you guys. For Halloween for the podcast, my buddy Austin and I, we did a cover of Dig Up Her Bones by the Misfits because I've just always loved that track. And but my problem was like the OG version, I don't love the recording. So I was like, what if you had one where the drums are just beating the shit out of it, dude? So I basically made that. I'm doing everything, and
Yeah.
Austin's playing some guitar on there. But Jay, thank you for listening. Thank you, brother.
I blame
It's good,
Johnny.
man. Hey,
I blame Johnny for mine because the one that I've been listening to a lot is Youngblood's cover of the Kiss classic "I Was Made for Loving You."
Youngblood's
Really-
a son of a
really
bitch,
good.
dude.
I love.
Can sing his ass
Johnny got
off.
me into Youngblood, man.
You hear that
I
shit
will
he did
throw
with
in there.
Aerosmith?
that all of us, at least one, two, three, at least three of us, before all these gigs where we go perform songs we've never played together, is we create. I don't use Spotify, I use Apple, Music, but we create that playlist, that set list in there, and we listen to that damn thing so many times that you can't stand to hear the song again. So by the time we're performing it, it's like, let's get this over with.
Yeah, no doubt, dude.
And let's hope it's not on the set list. Well, I mean, there's
That's
some
how I
songs we
practice the
do.
vocals. Yeah, Jay, that's exactly how I practice the vocals when I'm driving in the car and I'm
Yeah.
trying to hit because it's the easiest place to do it, you know.
Oh yeah.
Hit us again, Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, there's some songs that we jam that I would not want to ever pull off the set list, but there's some of them we've done, and it's like, I'm kind of tired of this one.
Yeah, it happens, dude.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I can imagine how many times Slash has played Sweet Home,
Sweet Child
or
of
any of
Mine.
the songs. Patient,
Yeah,
Sweet
yeah.
Child of Mine, yeah. But, I've seen some of these famous musicians, I saw a clip the other day of Rolling Stones in the audience somewhere while Rolling Stones was being played, and they're jamming to it, so no telling how many times Mick Jagger's heard any of those songs.
Oh, right, sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, fire
All right,
away.
next question.
All right. If you had to pick any stage you could pick anywhere, what would be your absolute dream venue to play a concert?
Top secret.
Area 51.
I said it was top secret.
Oh shit, sorry, buddy.
Classic.
I don't know, Travis.
Oh man, any of them that's got a room full of people.
Let's play the
That's
Von
my
Braun
favorite
Center.
place to play is when we're jamming in front of people that get excited about hearing it. I don't care where it is. That's my favorite place to play.
I agree, but I'll throw in Madison Square Gardens, right? The hallowed halls where Led Zeppelin and so many others walk the stage. That'd be awful cool.
And you just
Pretty
said
damn
Von
cool,
Braun
man.
Center. That'd be pretty cool too.
Yeah.
We could play John's backyard and do Red Rocks.
Yeah.
Ooh, Red Rocks.
Yeah,
That'd
Red
be-
Rocks to be high on my list.
How about a much smaller venue, like the helicopter pad at the ranch?
Oh shit, son.
We wouldn't have an audience, dude. We could get on the ranch.
That's true.
True.
I think so. Right down the road from where I live, there's a little town called Yadkinville. Probably their laundromat is where I'd play.
That's right.
Yeah.
We should just go downtown like you two did, get on top of some building and start playing, man.
I'd
Like,
say for me, it's honestly, I'm happy to play anywhere as long as I get to play with these motherfuckers. I mean, seriously, this is, we could be playing whether it's in Jay's garage or anywhere. Seriously, I'll be happy and honored to share the stage with these guys anywhere, anytime the call comes.
Jay's Garage is one of my favorite places to play.
Yeah,
I'll
I
be
do that.
honest.
I do like playing in Jay's garage, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
We
because
should-
the audience is usually dead because there's a cemetery. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, right.
Not trying to give away any location.
That's a good point.
All
And there
right.
really is a cemetery outside my garage.
Sorry, we're not
Yeah.
trying to dox you, dude. We're not trying to tell people where you are.
We'll wake the head,
All right.
we'll wake the dead, man. Like
Yeah,
quite
it's
right.
pretty common in Alabama. When I was moving here, I told Travis I didn't want to live next door to a church or Dollar General And he said, "Well, you ain't coming to Alabama."
True.
True that.
That's very true.
All righty. Well, I got one for all of us here, and Jay or Travis, I'll leave this one to you. What's next for Hitchhiker? What do folks have on the horizon to look forward to?
I think we need to plan a gig, guys, and just do it. You know, maybe something this summer, and do it. Pick a set list, play it, just meet and play, and have enough of tell people enough about it ahead of time so we actually have an audience to play for.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, if we do it here again, I've been doing a lot better job of getting out and meeting people. And there's this buddy of mine named Rob who's got a huge band here. And Rob could even play the drums if Caleb wanted to play the guitar or something and do something different. But Rob's got a huge following, as I've been told. So if we do something, we could have Rob, even if Rob just came to hang out and told his people, we could get a hell of a lot more people in the room.
Same way, if we were somewhere close to the world, Contagion would love to come hang out with us too.
Dude, your buddy from Contagion is a sweet dude. That was a fun time hanging with him.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man.
Yeah, really like.
But
cool.
John and Jimm are the harder ones to get to us. So
we could do.
We could do North Carolina or Alabama. Then
I could set up a gig here in Utah. I mean, I know a lot of club promoters. My other band that I'm in, my new wave cover band that I do here in Utah, we've been playing at some of the bigger clubs here in Utah. And if we wanted to do a show here in Utah and Salt Lake City or anywhere like that, I guarantee you I could find us a venue and we could promote the hell out of it.
Is Denver not the equidistant place in the middle of everything?
It's a direct flight from Huntsville.
It's a direct flight from Asheville. We're coming to live in your house with you, John. We live with you
in my cul-de-sac right here.
You got any drums, John?
Let's just go to a guitar center in Denver and show up and just start playing.
Hell yeah, dude.
There we go.
We'll film it.
Set up in their parking lot.
It'll be our version of Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For.
Live from Guitar
I'll stream it.
In Westminster, Colorado.
I didn't wear
So
the
do you guys
t-shirt,
think
but
it's possible to get tours going and actually have a couple shows actually planned out?
Yes,
I don't know.
but only if we're on a cruise ship and it's just taking us through the places we will play are just undisclosed international water spots.
Yeah, I was trying to get that situated so we could play on the cruise the last day, the Skinwalker Uncharted thing. But it's just the logistics is a nightmare. We don't know what the sound system would be, how we'd get instruments there, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I was just going to say, it just popped in my head that at Phenomicon, there was a guy there who's a fan of the show, who owns a bar in Nashville, and we've got an open invite to play. He has a bunch of, popular country guys come in there, so it's a big enough stage. Nashville is not a bad spot to get a lot of, people there and stuff.
Well, we have to figure out about a sound system. Is a sound system in the club, or would we have to bring one?
Nah, dude. Every club in Nashville has a sound system. The other thing is, my buddy Justin Biltonen is the bass player at Three Doors Down. He lives there in Nashville. He would come out. He'd help. He'd open the damn show. He's a kick-ass country solo artist, dude. He could get the gigs for us because that dude plays all over the damn country.
Well, here's an idea. Let's do let's see if we can get some places that'll screen Age of Disclosure and then have us play afterward.
That's an idea.
Travis and Jay are in there, so yeah, what a great opportunity.
That's not a bad idea, Jay. Talk to Dan about that.
Yeah, Dan, come on.
Yeah, let's get a world tour going. I mean, with relations to all the other bands, I don't see it as being an impossibility. One day we could see bands like Three Doors Down or Blink-182 or all these other big bands having you guys open.
I can tell you the owner of the club here that Contagion plays at all the time told me, I went to high school with her, and she said anytime we wanted to play, we could. But, there's plenty of places like that we could do. I mean, we need to figure out what we want to do, where we want to do it, and go do it right,
Right. Yep.
Here's an idea too. Small venues, let me run sound.
Yes.
We'll do a GoFundMe to get some in-ear monitors.
Oh man.
All righty.
This has
Well,
been
you know what we
absolutely
should do?
fantastic. Yeah.
With everybody that we know that has bands, we could do like a deadgum Lollapalooza weekend festival somewhere. You know,
That would be fun.
and
See, I'm loving this already, Travis.
do a UFO kind of weekend thing. We could get rent a stage somewhere on outdoor stage or whatever, or even just a gymnasium or something, you know,
Yeah.
and have bands
Or an
play all
aircraft
day long.
hangar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, airplane hangar would be perfect.
Now that would be sweet.
We get George Norrie to play.
You'd want to sing with us, but I mean,
Yeah.
All righty, gentlemen. Let's wrap this up here. Let's just get some closing thoughts and remarks. We'll just go around the room here, and Micah, we'll start with you.
why is it always me? My gosh. Okay. Well, again, it's always fun when you find out that people who you share common goals and interests with also speak the language of music. That was a wonderful, but not necessarily a surprising event when it comes to my relationship with Jay Stratton and Travis Taylor. It was definitely something that I think also was, one of the more fun aspects of my whole career with regard to trying to get to the bottom of the UAP issue. And again, so many people out there, I'll just say, are perplexed by this, and so are we. I mean, there is a legitimate question to all this. And the very name of the band, Hitchhiker, is something that's evocative of that mystery and of the lore that surrounds this and of the phenomena that many people have experienced. And so it's a very unique position to find oneself in, where you are uniquely, combining all these elements of experience and of the mystery and of the information, but also of the, again, in our case, the artistic side of all that. Very rare, I think, to see that. That's something I enjoy about all this, something that I hope to pursue, something that I hope if we survive our cabin weekend, it will make its way onto the stage again here in the next few months. And I'm looking forward always to being on the stage and sharing some space with these guys. Again, like Jay and Travis have said, and so many others here, I have so much more fun doing this compared with some of the more professional musical endeavors I've done over the years. So this is something I look forward to, and I can't wait to the next one.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. John.
Well, my internet is actually acting up really weird. So if I cut in and out, blame it on that. But man, this has just been great. I think that the strange story of how this band came together and how you have this interesting mix of individuals that have all ended up in a band together playing music. It's just so strange how it all came together and worked out, but it's fantastic. And music aside, freaking love everybody in this band. It's the weirdest thing, but people that have been in bands understand it. Like, you get to know some people, you get to see how they really are behind the scenes, and yeah, everybody in this band is just absolutely fantastic. And it's just awesome knowing all you guys. That's all. I'll leave it at that.
Right on. Thanks.
We love
Thanks so
you
much.
too, Johnny.
Yeah, thanks.
It is like a family. Love you guys.
It is.
So,
it's awesome.
Caleb, any closing thoughts and remarks from you?
Dudes, I feel like we're kind of like the Avengers if the Avengers were all drunks and they left way more buildings in shambles and dead people around than like saving things.
You need to watch Jessica Jones.
Oh, I've seen Jessica Jones. Yeah, I mean, we are like this ragtag group of super mutants that come together and do some batshit crazy stuff. And I love being on a ship while it's burning and sinking, and also staying afloat and being entertaining at the same time. And that's kind of how I feel about this band. I love this experience so much. I'm not saying that we're burning and sinking, but there's only so good you can do when you don't get to practice and live in the same place. But one thing is for sure, meeting you guys and being buds with you guys has been one of the highlights of my almost cresting of 40 years old. And I've had such a fun time with you dudes, getting to know you. The weirder it gets, the better, dude. And every single time we hang, it's a wild ass weird ride. I couldn't be happier to be a part of this. I love you guys a lot.
Awesome. Right back at you, brother. Jay, how about you? Closing thoughts and remarks.
Dittos. Oh, man, a few words, right? No, I mean, two things. One, playing with you guys and being able to do these gigs is, something to look forward to with everything else we got going on. I mean, once we got it locked in, we know what we're doing. We all practice our own things and get ready since we're not playing together. And you'd think in 2025 there'd be technology that would allow us to practice like this, but there's not. But that's great. And the other thing is for all the haters out there, we're allowed to have fun. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is a fun part of our lives, and we're allowed to do this, right? So yeah, no, it's great. And I wouldn't have it any other way. So love it.
Amen
Right
to
on.
that, brother.
Amen,
Amen.
brother.
Amen,
100%.
brother. Thank you so much. Dr. Taylor, how about you? Closing thoughts and remarks.
Yeah, man. My closing thoughts and remarks are that Hitchhiker freaking rocks, dude, and I love freaking rocking the house with you guys, man. I mean, that's just it. That's just it in a nutshell, man. I like. That's a song we could do too, nutshell. So anyway,
Yeah, it's about calcification of the scrotum.
that's right.
That's
Nutshell.
basically how the set list
But
works.
but seriously,
Right.
man,
Nutsack.
I mean, I absolutely love jamming with you guys. In fact, it pushes me to be a little better. I always, I'm usually the one that's got the worst timing, the worst, the worst remembering when I'm supposed to do what, and you guys really, it fits. It comes together so much when it's like the sum of the parts. The whole is much greater than the sum of the parts in this situation, and I just freaking love playing with you guys. Hitchhiker rules, man.
Right on. Thank you so much. Roger, closing thoughts and remarks from you.
Yeah, no, just thanks to all of you for the sacrifice of your time tonight away from your families and on the weekend. Very, very much appreciated. And from a standpoint of just being a fan and listening to Hitchhiker and the music, like you guys, and just talking to everybody that loves Hitchhiker and the things that we explore together, the unknown, you guys are amazing. And it's so fun to sit back and just listen and rock with you guys. And again, I just can't tell you how much fun I have listening to you guys and the banter that goes back and forth. When you guys perform, you can truly tell you guys are brothers, and you can see that love, and it just that extends out into the people that watch you guys. So again, I'm humbled and amazed, and thank you for your time tonight and coming on this podcast. Like Dr. Taylor said, Hitchhiker rocks.
Right on.
I
And,
want to add one quick thing real fast that I just
Sure.
thought of, what he just said. There is nothing more fun. The highlight of my year is the downtime at our rehearsals.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
The
playing songs
Mexican
is a
food.
blast, but yeah, the food, drinking, hanging out, and just laughing, telling jokes, and being goofy, and it's freaking great.
Yes,
Staying in
indeed.
creepy old Meemaw houses and listening to Davy Crockett on vinyl as we scare ourselves.
Damn
It's
right.
the
Staying
best.
up till 4 a.m, scaring
True story.
ourselves. Yeah.
True story.
John
Roger,
Stratton.
Roger, go ahead, Caleb.
I was just gonna say thank you for your service tonight, man. This has been a wonderful interview.
Yes.
Micah, go ahead.
No, I was going to add also, Roger, thank you for being here. And when you mentioned, people being away from their family, we weren't. We're in the company of family.
Yes.
Right.
Well said. Well said. Jonny, I'll go next, and then Jonny, I'll let you wrap it up and tie things up for us here. So for my closing thoughts, again, just want to thank each one of you for giving so freely of your time this evening and being willing to come on and talk about this wonderful little art machine that we have called Hitchhiker. More so than anything, I personally would just like to extend a personal thanks and gratitude to Jay and to Travis, Micah, Caleb, and John for allowing me to be a part of this wonderful family that I found myself in here with Hitchhiker. I'm truly humbled, and I mean this in all sincerity. I've had the pleasure of opening up for some pretty big bands in the synth pop and electronic music realm. Some of my heroes, some of my biggest heroes, and I honestly, it means so much more to me to be able to be up on stage, and there from my stage left position, I look over to my right, and there, standing right next to me is Jay motherfucking Stratton, as Travis likes to say. And just seeing Jay there with that big old grin on his face as he's playing that gorgeous guitar of his, and then seeing Travis there center stage just owning the hell out of that microphone and having that crowd in the palm of his hand. That's what rock music is all about, is forming that connection with the audience and just taking that energy that we have on stage. And Caleb, undeniably the greatest drummer I have ever shared the stage with in all of my almost 40 years of playing music. Micah, hands down, the greatest guitar player I've ever seen. Truly, such a humbling honor. And John, you know that I already love you like a brother. Denver Broncos thing notwithstanding, I'm willing to look past that. But seriously, gentlemen, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to each and every one of you. I have enjoyed being a part of this so much. You have no idea. And getting the opportunity to get to know Jay and Travis on a personal level. Folks, these are two of the most honorable and awesome men that I have ever had the privilege of knowing and considering, not only as bandmates, but as friends. So from my end of it, thank you so much. Thank you to all of you here that have donated so willingly of your time. It's just that's really all I can say, is just thank you so much. It's been an honor. It continues to be. Cannot wait until we get together the next time and just raise a whole lot of hell. Cannot wait to do it. So that covers it for me. Jonny, go ahead and you take us out, brother.
Awesome. I'm just so appreciative of everyone coming out and spending the time with us. This has been fantastic, as everybody can tell. You know, you guys are just a normal group of guys who are allowed to have fun, enjoy your lives, love music. They're normal people, just like the rest of us. So, to wrap this up, we've been joined today by the musical phenomenon themselves, the Hitchhiker Band, and we appreciate their time, their excellence. And as you can tell, their coming together as a band is truly an example of the unexplained. I'm John Stratton, as you've been joined by all of us here at the Sol of The Unexplained. See ya.
And folks, if you liked what you saw today, hit that like button down beneath there. And if you aren't a subscriber, please feel free to subscribe. We sure appreciate it. And Jonny, John, and Roger and I will see you next time right here on the Sol of the Unexplained. See ya.